Welcome to the horrible, disgusting, atrocious garbage pile that is my second channel. Hey, look! It's the 5th gen Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage. So in case you guys are unaware, which you probably are because I've never talked about this on my channel, I have the 1st gen Ultimate Garage and the 2nd gen Super Ultimate Garage. I got this a really long time ago, and then a couple years later they made this one, and I thought it was so much cooler, which it honest to God is, with a slight caveat, but it is very, very nice. I ended up getting this one for Christmas, and after that, I then realized that Hot Wheels was turning the Ultimate Garage into a series that they would advance on every couple years or so. I personally don't think that's a good idea because of how massive and expensive these sets are. Like, the Super Ultimate Garage is so big that I am having to create a new section of my room in order to put the thing in. Like, compared to a regular set, you got this. It's like night and day. These things are humongous. The 3rd gen Ultimate Garage looked like this, and it was basically just a bigger version of the 5th gen here with a giant hole in the center that didn't really hold any Hot Wheels cars at all. It held a few, definitely, but it really didn't seem like a garage set, and I passed on it. And then the 4th gen was like these 3 towers with an elevator dinosaur thing that went up and down in the middle. It was an extraordinarily weird set, and I paid no attention to it. It didn't really fit as an Ultimate Garage. And now we have the 5th gen. I bought it because it kind of seems to combine all of the good parts about the 2nd gen and the 1st gen Ultimate Garages without any of the weird issues that the 4th and 3rd gen had. So let's get into it. Someone needs to make it illegal for me to spend any money. Box in a box. Makes sense to me. Oh, good heavens. More difficult. Ow. So far, so good. Except now it's not working so well. How is that supposed to? No. You guys can't even see what's happening. I'm sorry. Oh, I need to apply a sticker to this. I forgot, I was supposed to be applying stickers to all these things. It ripped! The sticker ripped because I couldn't put it on right. There. It's close enough. We're done with the stickers. Never again. Alright, let's see what it actually does. Hi, it's several hours later now. It's about 1:30 in the morning. I've been playing with this since about 3:30 in the afternoon. Well, closer to 4 because it took me forever to actually build it, but let's talk about the nugget. So without a doubt, this thing is definitely going to be one of the big Christmas options this year. And the biggest question on everybody's mind watching this video is, would this thing make a good Christmas present? The short answer is absolutely. The long answer is gonna take me a minute to explain. It all has to do with stickers. I trimmed out about 25 minutes of footage of me trying aimlessly to meticulously apply so many stickers. There are no prints. The only thing that is actually printed for you is the big thing that says Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage. That's a sticker that they applied for you. The rest of it, good luck, mate. You gotta figure it out yourself. And figuring it out myself was one of the most miserable experiences I've ever had trying to do anything Hot Wheels related in my entire life. I don't want to do anything regarding stickers again. I really don't. I don't whatsoever. In fact, you guys may have noticed that one of the stickers was placed wrong. Oh, we got level 4, we got level 3, we got level Wait a minute! No! Don't tell me! Oh, great. I put the sticker on the wrong piece. It's on the wrong one. And I can't get it off. So, we're just gonna deal with it. We're just gonna deal with it. Do you want to know why I didn't try and correct my mistake? Look right there. Do you see that tiny triangle that's sticking up? That is a result of just barely sticking the sticker on wrong and peeling it up only to have it break and come off. From the tiniest little bit of misplacement, attempting to correct that, ripped the sticker. That's how it's gonna look now. I am not going to do that with two important stickers that are placed on 90-degree angles. And just to make matters even worse, they don't have any instructions or guides for where to put the stickers. You have to look at the product pictures in order to figure it out. So here's a quick example of where all the stickers should be placed. You can see that there are stickers being placed. That is a sticker. No, not that one. That one over there is a sticker. The Hot Wheels things here, there's one on the other side too. Those are stickers. The levels are stickers too. You got one right here, and there's two caution stickers. They go right up here on either side right here. I'm telling you guys this because I didn't know this, and it took me forever to figure it out. So if you've got a kid who is excited about this thing for Christmas, be prepared to put up with stickers. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Be prepared for it. It's not impossible, but it is very, very annoying, and you're gonna have to put up with it. So now let's actually talk about the set, first starting with the biggest downside. It falls into the same issue that the first gen and the third gen Ultimate Garages have, and that is the lack of actual parking spaces. When you look at the second gen here, you can see how many cars I've actually packed onto the set, and that's not counting all of them. There are a lot more spaces that you can like put them in the support pillars and stuff. There's lots of spaces to put cars. It's all about storage, and it does a really, really good job at that. This set just doesn't have that much space. Most of the actual parking garage is going to happen on this left pillar right here, and you can see that it's connected to the elevator, and there's lots of space on that left pillar. There's also quite a bit of space on the right pillar, but most of it is happening on the left pillar. You've also got a little bit of parking space back there, a little bit right up here, but most of the actual parking and garage part of this set is going to be happening on the left side, which kind of sucks because it is absolutely gargantuan. It's way bigger than the first gen. I mean, the first gen is already a very big set. This one is substantially larger, and you don't have that much more space to actually put cars. Think about this. The first gen already is way too big for the amount of cars that you can store. You can only put 37 cars, 36 on the main structure and one more in the kind of like fire truck garage thing over there. And that's it. This one holds about 55. In fact, that was the exact number that I counted when I filled every single space on the set. And it is almost bigger than the Super Ultimate Garage, which holds 150. I will say though that it is kind of amusing the way that they have actually come up with some of the spaces to put these cars. So you can see if I put it here, there's a spot on top of the sign, as if there's a way to get the car up there or get the car off if this were real. I love goofy details like that, and it gets even goofier. There's some on top of the frickin' the loop-de-loop. In fact, you can put the two cars it comes with on there, which is kind of what I do because it's sort of the centerpiece spot, and the cars that are sitting right there are the two that you're going to notice before anything else on the entire set. And it just makes me wonder, they put so much effort into putting spaces in strange, goofy places like that, and yet they didn't put a single space on the ground floor. The second gen has an entire ground floor and still has like the car wash and the gas station, blah blah blah, whatever the extra stuff is over here. While this one, they don't do anything like that. It just confuses me. I've even done a little bit of research on the third and fourth gens, and from what I've seen, those ones also have spaces on the ground floor. The only two Ultimate Garages that don't have any spaces on the ground floor are the fifth gen and the first gen. And the first gen, the only excuse that it has was that it was the first one, and I don't think that Mattel thought that this was going to be as popular popular as it was. By now, the first gen came out in 2016. This is 8 years of development, and there's no spaces on the ground floor. Let that sink in for a minute. So what can you actually do with it? The biggest thing that you're gonna notice is the elevator on the left side of the garage. It is the most loud and obviously bright feature on the entire playset. It is so obvious that no matter what level it's on, your eyes just immediately get drawn to it. Like, oh, you got this big nice box. I mean, what is that? What the heck is that? Why are there two, like, Nerf blaster style grips on it? I'm glad you didn't ask. You can drive cars straight up onto it like this, which makes perfect sense. And then you can either grab the top or you can grab it by the grips. I hold it here because it's a lot easier to do that, and I think that everybody can agree with me. And you might notice this. We'll get back to that in just a moment, but you can line this thing up with any of these levels that are lined up on this pillar, and it will click into position and stop. Then you can simply drive cars forward and just park them. Finally, usage of parking spaces on the pillars has been established. They kind of tried to elaborate on this idea with the second gen. I mean, like, if we take this car here and you put it up there, you can see there's this singular car manual elevator that you can drive up and down, and it clicks into certain positions, but it only clicks into the positions on the floor. If you actually try and, like, line it up with one of these things, it never stops in the right spot. There's these ledges that you got to drive the car over, and then it's even more annoying to get the car off afterwards. It's just not a bespoke way to get it done. While on the 5th gen over here, you have the elevator that directly connects to this, and it lines up with every single one of them. So none of them are missed, and you are able to perfectly dial in where to stop the elevator every single time. They didn't do this on the other side, and I will explain why that's not a bad thing, but honestly, I love that a lot, and I'm really happy that they did that. So we got to address why this elevator is so big, what the grips are for, and what the heck this thing is right here, because that only appears when you line it up in very specific spots. You can see as it goes up, it just did it again, and then it's not there, it's not there. Oh, it just did it again randomly, and it's not there, and it's not there, and it's there again. What is the deal? Let's say it's on a floor and that dial is green, and then you squeeze the grip. Your cars just cease to exist. Not only is this an elevator, but it's also a dual car launcher. And it's not even the boring kind of launcher where you have to punch it to get it to work, and it just works depending on how strong you are. This is the type of launcher that works very similarly to a dual stage Nerf blaster, to where when you pull this back, it primes a spring and then releases it once it hits the rear position. And it only works if a certain lock is being toggled when it's connected to these that have the straight track in front of it. If you're on any other level, like for example, this floor right here that just connects to a parking space, if you try it, nothing happens. It's not engaged with the mechanism. I don't know how that works. I love the way that works. It works extremely fluidly. I haven't had any issues with it, and I think that that is single-handedly the coolest way to incorporate an elevator into any form of Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage thing. I mean, it's a pretty close tie between this and what the 3rd gen did, which was kind of a pressurized torsion spring. So when you push it down and lock it, there's a spring that's being compressed, and when you push the button to release it, it slowly unwinds back to the top and locks at whatever floor you locked it to. So I mean, that's a really, really, really good way to do it. I don't know if this is better or worse, but either way, it's still really good. So let's talk about what each individual floor offers when you actually engage that, because you might have guessed it only happens on the bespoke floors, which means there are 4 different positions where you can launch cars. As you go up, things gradually get more interesting. Starting with the ground floor, it's just a set of straight track. You can toggle this switch right here to get it to either go straight out or turn it to go around into the ground floor, which I will elaborate on what happens on the ground floor more in just a little bit, but that is basically what happens with the launcher. On the 2nd floor here, you have basically the same thing, but there's a locker that prevents 2 cars from going through at the same time. So it's more so a race, and the winner will advance while the loser will get kind of stuck here and held up until you manually push it forwards. And from that point on, it can either continue this way, or again, you can toggle it to turn and stop on the individual floor. On the 3rd floor, floor, you have the loop, which again is very similar to the second floor, but this time there's a loop and there's nothing to stop the car from advancing, so chances are after the cars go through the loop, they're gonna get stuck right here because one of them is going to smush against the other one and jam it up. That's what happened to me the most. And just like before, you can have them go down this way, or you can stop them on the floor, or you can actually turn this and have them just go off onto a different track, which is a pretty cool way to incorporate a second track. And then there's the top floor, which you guys need to see for yourself. As you can see, there's a dragon on top of the set, and he looks pretty cool. I like the way that this dragon looks. But there are two ramps over here that you can launch the car off of. There's the left one, which goes up higher, and there's a right one, which goes lower. If you choose the left ramp, this happens. As you can see, the dragon eats the car, and then the car is just kind of pushed down. Sometimes it'll come out right side up, but a lot of the time it's going to come out upside down. But it does get quite a bit of velocity. But if you choose the right ramp, you get to witness this. That's my new favorite thing ever! And then to reset him, you grab this and you just pull him back up, and he automatically resets to the same position. Oh my god! If you guys notice, every single Ultimate Garage has some sort of animal-related gimmick. The first gen had a shark head randomizer thing where your car would pass into its mouth and go through it, and there was a 50% chance that it would make it and 50% chance that the mouth would close and stop your car from advancing. The second gen has this gorilla thing that climbs the elevator and then falls back down, and if your car happens to be right here or on the space above it, it would engage an extra switch and eject the car out of the elevator while it was climbing it. The third gen had another big shark head, but it didn't add anything new. It was just an extra play feature that kind of made it so you had to reset it every time you wanted to send cars through, which was kind of annoying. And the fourth gen had something similar to the gorilla that would just go up and down, and your car would sometimes get stuck and then be ejected off of the set. When they showed the dragon, and when I saw the dragon on this set, I figured it was just gonna be a static figure, because by now, 5 Ultimate Garages in, you'd think that they would have run out of ideas on what to do with the animal thing right now, right? And I was perfectly happy accepting the dragon just sitting on top of the set and doing absolutely nothing. No, instead we got the single goofiest and most hilariously fun play feature I have ever seen. This play feature alone, I'd say, makes the set worth it. That is priceless. That is amazing. That alone, I could do that all day long. I could watch that happen over and over and never get tired of it. Like, what is there else to talk about? Oh yeah, so like, okay, let's just do a quick demonstration of what the other launchings look like. Oh, that was boring. I don't know why it didn't make it through, but oh yeah, this is that. You just bring it down here like this, and oh man, that's very fun. Oh yeah. What happens on these floors? Oh, you can drive your car on and you can bring this through. Oh look, it's the repair thing. They do like a repair thing on every one of these Ultimate Garages. I like this one. It's pretty cool. You can just bring the car through and it's automated. It looks funny. It works pretty well. On the bottom, you got like a little gas station, and that's kind of it. You have a gate that goes up and down, a gas station, and then over here you've got the worst version out of any car wash that's on any of these Ultimate Garages. Like, this is weak. You bring your car in and it just goes in and sits, and then you push the car through when it's done, and you call it a day. That's basically all there is to do outside of the obvious things, but yeah. That's the set. So, what are the positives and the negatives, and do I think that this is a good set for people this year? Well, let's take a look at the positives. The freaking dragon. The freaking dragon is the best thing I've ever seen on any Hot Wheels track. That alone makes this set worth it. I don't care what anybody says. The image of that thing spinning down the side of the... I kind of figured it was gonna fall when I pull it up the track. I was not expecting it to spin. I love that. That's a really good play feature. I like the elevator. The elevator is a really good idea, but it also kind of serves as a weak point, because sometimes, and a lot of times, the car being launched launch just doesn't have the right amount of power to get through the loop or get up this track and land in the dragon's mouth. There was one time where I accidentally got it just the right speed to get the car stuck in the dragon's mouth and not all the way in to continue through. So that just didn't work, and a lot of times, more often than not, it just won't make it. Like, if I bring this up and I try and launch it, that happens so much, like with pretty much every car that I try it with. And the only other weak point I can think of is just the ground floor. It is way too boring for everything else that's going on with this set. There's really nothing to do with it. I mean, the entire back road section here has literally nothing to do. If I turn the entire set around to show you guys what the back floor does, you can see there's an entry point here. There's kind of a city-style entry point here. It goes this way, and then it goes that way. And that's literally all that happens. There's no on-ramps, there's no off-ramps, there's no extra parking spaces. There's nothing you can do. In conclusion, the 5th Gen Ultimate Garage has absolutely rocked my socks, and I'm very happy with this thing. I wasn't expecting too much, especially after using the 1st and 2nd Gen Ultimate Garages, and both of those being admittedly pretty boring sets that really more offered just the visual appeal and the ability to store Hot Wheels cars while looking really good and not too terribly much else. This thing doesn't offer as much of that as it just does a ton of extraordinarily fun and goofy things to do, done very, very well. I think that the gimmick with the dragon is cool, the elevator is cool, the big loop in the center, the just large stature of this thing, and the way that it is designed looks very, very nice. I don't know if I would say it looks better than the 2nd gen, but it definitely looks better than the 1st gen or the 3rd gen, and I really like it. I like all the things you can do with it. I think that for like $100 to $110, it's a very good price to value ratio. Like, it's massive. It's got a lot to do, and it's dense. And with all that density, you have a lot of stuff that you're able to do with it. I could totally see kids getting this thing for Christmas and just being the happiest in the entire world. And if nothing else, that should sell it to anybody who's interested. Thank you guys for watching. If you want one of these, I'll link it in the description below. Happy holidays. Bye.